Nolan, very good to see you. Today, we're going to talk about the number one most important factor determining your retirement success. It is income. Let's get into it. According to a study by the Alliance for Lifetime Income, 80% of retirees with protected lifetime income say they are confident they won't outlive their money, compared to 33% without it. So I notice the answer here is income. Why isn't the answer how big your nest egg is?
Yeah, it's a great question, and something that we kind of need to rock people away from when we teach them how to retire is it's
Yeah,
not necessarily how much money you have, it's about how much money you can bring in each
right.
month to accomplish whatever you're trying to accomplish. So yeah, income being the most important thing for retirees as opposed to how much they have in their nest egg. It's more about your paycheck as it is when you're working, just how much comes in each month. So Social Security, portfolio, all of those things are responsible for generating income. And we'll get into that quite a bit today.
Yeah. And I'm glad you mentioned this because, of course, we've always had an income plan. What's different in retirement?
Yeah, the income plan that I guess you had before was usually work, but income planning in retirement's a little bit different. You need to take a known amount of money, prepare it for an unknown amount of time through unknown market scenarios. So there's a whole lot of variables and a whole lot of uncertainty, but that's why we have fundamentals. So practicing with your income plan and I don't know, kind of behaving with your money a little bit differently instead of having it all in growth oriented assets, maybe protecting them a little bit or living off some interest and dividends. Those are some things that people do rely on in retirement, and it's
Mm,
different than while you're working.
mhm. Nearly 70% of pre-retirees say their biggest concern is generating enough reliable income to last a lifetime. Can you rely on just your investments to get you through retirement?
Yeah, I think it depends. You can rely large in part on your investments throughout your entire lifetime. However, most people rely on Social Security in tandem with that.
Mhm.
Now, what your portfolio does and what risks you take with it are up to you as the investor. So you can secure additional lifetime income through a variety of different sources, through insurances and things like that. Your portfolio doesn't always have to be just a mix of stocks and bonds, but the concern being generating reliable income. Securing that income is first and foremost once you do decide to retire.
Right. Now, in retirement, if you rely on just your invested money for income, you are more susceptible to sequence risk. Can you explain that, please?
Yeah, when you kind of have your money the same way as you do when you're working, when you transition into retirement, this is where sequence risk falls into play. Or when I talk to people about the difference between your 401k and IRA, the sequence risk, that this market volatility is basically the risk that you are drawing on your portfolio at the same time that you have multiple bad years in the market subsequently, or big losses early on in your retirement years. So, should you design your income plan based 100% around a market based portfolio, it can work as long as you encounter the correct market scenario, a good 5 or 10 year period, and it'll work quite well. But if you do have a bad 5 or 10 year period, kind of like what we did in the early to mid 2000s, it's a lot harder to generate the rate of returns you expect,
Mm,
withdraw the money that you expect to withdraw, and recover on the other side of it from big economic events.
mhm.
So, as I mentioned before, insurances oftentimes will use annuities for income. Those are pretty popular investments for retirees because it does protect your money from
Mhm.
market volatility.
Mhm. How often should we be revisiting our income plan?
Yeah, usually we're revisiting income plans at least annually. That's why we do big formal annual and semi-annual reviews so that we can talk to our clients about income and their current expenditures. Your formal income plan and stress testing it maybe isn't an exercise to go through more than once every few years, just
Mm,
to make sure that you're not getting too far derailed from what the original plan was.
right,
So
right.
it's an ever evolving situation, ever evolving document, and it's not a do it one time and never do it ever again.
Yeah, ain't that the truth?
Yep.
All right. Well, Nolan, then if somebody would like to sit down with you to see how to turn their nest egg into a reliable source of income throughout their retirement, what's the best way to reach you?
So by phone, they can call us at 616-301-2581 or our website, which is cornerstone-rp.com. And there is a contact us box at the bottom of that page.
Great. Nolan, thank you.
Thanks, Erin.